My friends, hello. One of the things that the pandemic has demonstrated for us is that we are whole people. We do not just show up to work and then go home. We do not just have personal lives and show up to work. Back in the 80s and 90s and prior to that even, it was, leave your baggage at the door. And that whatever you got going on in your personal life, you leave it in your car, if you will. And then, once you're done with work, you can get back in your car and you can deal with your personal problems again. Challenge with that is that's just not the world that we live in anymore. Now we're living in the world where we're not working from home. We don't go traveling in our cars necessarily anymore. We have kids that we're helping with virtual schooling and so forth. And email and texting and Slack and all these things have made it so that we are constantly thinking about and communicating around our work. We are now living in an environment, whether we like it or not, for better or for worse for all of us, where personal lives and professional lives are intermingled, and it's probably not going to change. Like this is the context that we're currently operating within, and it's been going long enough now. This has been over a year. The behavioral change we've all experienced is such that we're not going to just magically snap back to it. As much as some large organizations want to say that they're going to send all their people back home, or back to the office rather, that's probably not going to happen. There's going to always be some work from anywhere element within our culture moving forward, because just the change has been too broad and systemic and impactful. And we've also discovered that we can really make it all work. So what's interesting though is we need to start to think differently about how we perceive what work is and what our personal time is and how we think around our relationship with work. So we now have this opportunity to really be mindful and thoughtful about the fact that we're a whole person, and all of these things are a part of who we are. And the decisions that we each make have direct impacts on not just the professional life, but the personal life, and the choices that we make as leaders impact the people on our teams in their personal and their professional lives in a way that has never probably been true before. So what does this mean? What do we do? Well, I think we need to be really honest and thoughtful with ourselves about what our priorities are and what we're doing and who we're doing it with and how we're doing it and why we're doing it and when we're doing it and all these things. If you think about the fact that you're fortunate right now, if you're employed, you're fortunate to be employed. Most of the workforce has returned, which is great, but not everybody, and there's still a lot of people who are out of work. There's a lot of people who are dealing with a lot of different variables, and so we need to be mindful of what are we doing and why, and what is the situation that we're in right now as a leader. What are you doing with your organization? Why is it important to you? And where are you going? Because here's the thing. At some point, if God forbid you get hit by a car and die, your role will be replaced. Your company will move on without you. And there are people that will not see you easily replaced. You've got loved ones. You've got family, friends, colleagues that you spend time with outside of work. You've got a bunch of people that you are irreplaceable to. Even though you're replaceable at work, you are irreplaceable in your personal life. So that's not to diminish work. Work is critically important. Work is valuable. Work is meaningful. We invest time and energy into this, and we make wonderful things happen with our efforts and our energies and our mental capacity and all these things. The work that we do is critically important, or you wouldn't be working with the organization that you're with. And you are replaceable in that environment, but you're not replaceable to other people. So what are the choices that you're making? Why are you making them? How are you making them? For whom are you making them? Are you living a life without regrets? That's ultimately the question that we need to start asking ourselves. And if we are, excellent. And if we're not, we need to start to be mindful that now this context has changed and our behaviors need to change with them. So whether this is true for yourself personally or for those on your team, this is something to be preparing for as a leader in 2021 and beyond. The game has changed permanently, and we need to be thinking about what we're doing and why we're doing it and how we're doing it and when we're doing it and where we're doing it and with whom we're doing it. Because now our personal and our professional lives are forever merged. But you as a leader have a choice. You can choose how you behave. You can choose how you react. You can choose how you influence. You can choose how you lead. These are choices. These are all choices. And you have the power to make them appropriately for yourself, your team, and your organization, because you're a leader.